The sun was very hot in the village of Umunit. It was so hot that even the little lizards hid under big rocks, trying to find some shade. In this village, there lived a girl named Oyanai. Everyone agreed she was the most beautiful girl in all the land. Her skin was smooth and dark like polished ebony, and her smile was as bright as the morning sun. But despite her beauty, Oyanai's eyes were always filled with a deep sadness. Oyanai lived with her father, Papa Ease. He was a very kind and gentle man, but he was old and blind. Because he couldn't see, he didn't know that his new wife, Mama Ngozi, was very mean to Oyanai. Mama Ngozi had two daughters of her own, named Ada and Oge. They were lazy and loud, and they spent their days eating sweet mangoes while Oyanai worked. They hated Oyanai because she was beautiful and kind, and they were not. One morning, Mama Ngozi woke Oyanai by splashing cold water on her face. As Oyanai was sweeping the compound, her stepmother came to her with a fake smile. "Oyanai, my dear," she said sweetly, "put down your broom. Today we are going to a special farm near the forest. We will find magic flowers there that will make you look even more beautiful for the prince." Oyanai's sad eyes lit up with hope. She was so happy she didn't realize it was all a big, cruel lie. They walked deep into a dark, gnarled forest. The trees had thick, snake-like roots, and a strange, purple-gray mist hung low in the air, making everything feel eerie. When they reached a clearing with a massive, ancient tree, Mama Ngozi said, "Oyanai, this is a game. Close your eyes tight and count to 500. We will hide." Oyanai, wanting to believe them, turned to face the tree. 1, 2, 3. She began to count. Behind her, Mama Ngozi and her daughters quietly took off their shoes so they wouldn't make a sound. They turned and ran back toward the village as fast as their legs could carry them. Oyanai continued counting, her voice echoing in the quiet forest. 499, 500. Ready or not, here I come. She spun around, a smile on her face, expecting to find them peeking from behind the trees. But there was nobody there. The forest was empty and silent. "Mama? Ada? Oge? Where are you?" she called out, her voice trembling. Only the lonely sound of the wind answered her. She was all alone. She sank to the ground and began to cry, her heart breaking with the realization that she had been abandoned. As darkness fell, she saw a pair of yellow eyes glowing in the bushes. A giant creature stepped out into the moonlight. It was a lion, but it was as big as a house, with a magnificent mane that looked like it was made of flickering fire. Oyanai was so scared she covered her face with her hands. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "be quick." She braced herself for the bite, for the sharp claws, but it never came. Instead, she felt something warm and soft touch her. The lion was sniffing her hair, its breath warm. Then, incredibly, he lifted one of his giant paws and gently wiped a tear from her cheek. Oyanai slowly lowered her hands and looked into the lion's eyes. They weren't fierce or cruel. They were warm, intelligent, and golden. She wasn't afraid anymore. The lion knelt down, inviting her to climb onto his back. He carried her deep into the forest, moving with a strength and grace that was breathtaking. They arrived at a beautiful, cascading waterfall. The lion didn't hesitate. He leaped right through the curtain of water, revealing a secret cave behind it. The cave was magical. The walls were covered in blue crystals that glowed with a soft, comforting light, like 1,000 night lights. The floor was covered in a carpet of soft green moss, and in one corner, there were piles of fresh, delicious fruit. For the first time in a very long time, Oyanai felt completely safe. Days turned into weeks, and Oyanai and the lion, whom she named Oba, became the best of friends. She made herself a beautiful dress from large tropical leaves and flowers. One evening, as they sat together in the glowing cave, Oyanai reached out and hugged the lion's giant, furry face. "I love you, Oba," she whispered, feeling a deep affection for the creature who had saved her. She leaned forward and gave him a gentle kiss on his nose. Suddenly, the cave began to shake. A blinding golden light erupted from Oba's body, so bright that Oyanai had to shield her eyes. When the light finally faded, the giant lion was gone. Standing in his place was a tall, handsome man with kind, golden eyes, wearing regal robes of white and gold. "My name is Prince Chima," he said, his voice warm and gentle. "A mean which turned me into a lion long ago. You saved me," Oyanai, your kindness broke the curse. You saw the good man inside the monster. Together, Oyanai and Prince Chima began their journey back to the village of Amunid. But they didn't go alone. Hundreds of animals, leopards, monkeys, colorful birds, and more, followed them, a royal procession led by nature itself. When they arrived, the villagers were dancing and celebrating a festival. Suddenly, a giant elephant, with Oyanai and the prince on its back, smashed through the village gates. The music stopped. "It's Oyanai," the people shouted in astonishment. Papa Ease heard his daughter's name and stumbled forward. Oyanai rushed to him, and they embraced. Prince Chima then gently touched Papa Ease's clouded eyes, and in an instant, his sight was restored. He looked upon his beautiful daughter for the first time in years, his face filled with joy. Then, the prince turned to the mean stepmother and her two daughters, who were cowering in fear. "You acted like mean animals," he declared, his voice booming with authority. "So now, you will be animals." With a flash of green smoke, poof, Mama Ngozi turned into a smelly warthog, and her daughters turned into two noisy, screeching monkeys. They ran off into the forest, never to be seen again. Oyanai and the prince rode the elephant back toward the forest, leaving the cheering village behind. They had learned a powerful lesson. True beauty is not on the outside. It is hidden in the heart. Your clothes don't make you a queen, your kindness does. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from around the world. We'll see you in the next video.